What's up, you guys? Slimmy with a new video today. I'm here to bring you guys the next episode of Damn, I Miss This Deck. Now, this one can kind of go either way. You either miss this deck or you don't. I personally do, and there's a story behind that. Anyways, what I'm here to showcase to you guys is from 2011, Full Power 6 Samurais. That's right, triple gateway. The deck was insane. There is just no other way of saying it. This deck got me one of my first regional invites, tops, everything. This deck was just the nuts. This deck was insane. This is Nazar Sarhan's first place YCS Dallas from 2011. His build. His boy Sean topped the next, ended up winning the next YCS basically with the same deck. This deck was just insane, you guys. There is no way around it. Opening gateway was just basically game. Opening double gateway was definitely game. You had so much draw power, so much consistency. This deck was just like on another level. This was definitely a tier like 0 tier 1 deck. I'm going to get into it. For those of you who don't remember, shout out to my boy Sam from Team Samurai X1. Shout you out, bro. I texted him telling him I was making this video because, you know, it reminds me of him. You know, Samurai is how he got his channel all together. And he's just a real advocate for this deck and still tries to play it to this day. As you guys can see, all the differences. When you see all the cards that are banned, all the cards that are, you know, at 1, etc. But this is what the deck was like back in 2011. So let's go down memory lane and let's go back to a time where 6 Samurais was the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! As crazy as that sounds. They'll never come back to full power like this, but it was amazing to see what they could do. So let's get into it. So we'll start with the monsters. This was his own tech. Nazar played this card. A lot of people didn't. Anishi, Shien's Chancellor. So a lot of people didn't play this card. They just played like the standard Samurai. Some people would play Great Shogun Shien, but it wasn't really something that you saw a lot. He played this card. You would special summon it by banishing 2 6 Samurais from your graveyard, and you would be able to target one face-up monster, destroy that target. It was to get over problematic monsters that you'd encounter when playing the game. So he played it. He said it was really good. It was just his own tech. 2 Grandmasters. This card was really good. If you control a face-up 6 Samurai, you can special summon it from your hand. If it was destroyed by a card effect, you could target 1 6 Samurai monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So basically, you could just add your monsters back whenever it died. Just a great card. Produced a lot of OTKs because you go summon, drop Grandmaster, attack for game. It was crazy. One of the best cards was legendary 6 Samurai Kazan. If you controlled a face-up 6 Samurai, you could special summon this card. And if you had 2 or more, it would gain 300 attacks, so it would go to 2100. Basically, you go Kageki, Kagemusha, Special, Kizan. You know, it was just a very standard play. Just your beat stick of the deck. Very, very solid card. He played one hand of the 6 Samurai. I remember when playing this deck, I loved this card. You were able to tribute a 6 Samurai away, blow a monster away on the field. It was great. Bring him back with double-edged sword technique. It was just amazing. And then the main cards of the deck were the 3 legendary 6 Samurai Kageki and the 3 Kagemushas. Basically, you would go Kageki, Kagemusha, instant Shien. It was fantastic. That was it for the monsters. Very low monster count because you could get to your monsters whenever you needed. You had 4 reinforcement of the armies in this deck, which is insane. It's why the deck was so good. We'll get into the spells. The 1 Rhoda that I already mentioned. 1 Giant Trunade. This card was basically game. Whenever you play Giant Trunade, it would reset the board and you just, you know, you summon Shien, set your back row, said go. They couldn't really do anything. Trunade was so powerful, and being able to negate it with Shien was also great, like in the mirror match or anything like that. Or if anyone ever tried to go Giant Trunade and just game you, you just negated it with Shien. It was crazy. So this was a great card. 1 Dark Hole, you know, get over problematic monsters. 3 Smoke Signal, which was basically 3 copies of Rhoda in addition to your actual copy of Rhoda. She had 4 Rhodas in this deck. So basically, in reality, you're playing 13 monsters, but in reality, you're playing 17 because you add the 4 Rhodas in there to search whenever you need, and you were just in there. And 3 Upstart Goblins. So for people who don't believe that Upstart was played before the whole Upstart theory and Pat made the card amazing and famous, people played Upstart Goblin, you guys. It wasn't something that a lot of people remember, but Upstart Goblin was played in this deck because it was 37 cards. People didn't even think of it like that. It was just, it sped your deck up. People didn't even care if it was 37 cards. That was something that wasn't even mentioned. It was just the fact that you could accelerate your deck and just, you know, get to what you needed to. So it was fantastic. The 1,000 points didn't matter when you were winning the game anyway. Producing unbreakable boards was how you won. Reborn, self-explanatory. 2 Typhoon to get rid of back row. And then there it is in all its entirety. 3 Gateway of the 6 Samurai. For those of you who don't know, each time a 6 Samurai monster is normal or special summon, you would place 2 Bushido counters on this card, and you could remove counters from this card to do effects. If you had 2 counters, you could target 1 face-up 6 Samurai. It would gain 500 attack. 4 counters, you would break 4 counters, search a 6 Samurai. A lot of times you were searching Kizan since you could special summon it, or you were searching Grandmaster. 6, you could target 1 Shien effect monster in your graveyard to special summon that. target. So basically, if Sheehan were to die, you could special summon it back. So this card was just insane. This card ever came back to more than one, I mean, Six Samurais would definitely find a way to get back on top, because this is what made the deck broken. And as you guys can see, it's banned for a reason. 3 Six Samurai United, your draw card. I mean, this was insane. Every time you just summoned a Six Samurai, you got 2 Bushido counters, break them, draw 2 cards. I mean, come on, that was crazy. That rounded out the spells. As you guys can see, there's a lot of speed. 3 Gateways, 3 United, 3 Upstarts, 4 Rotas. You were not opening a Sheehan like almost every turn one. It was crazy. To the traps, one of the best traps in the deck, double-edged sword technique. You target 2 Six Samurais in your monster, special summon them in attack position. You destroy them during the end phase, and you would take damage equal to their attack, but that did not matter. Every time you're bringing them back, you're bringing them back for game, or you were synchroing with them. So this card was just insane. He played Mirror Force. Mirror Force was just a good board wipe. Solemn Judgment, one of the best cards in the game, negate anything. And this was one of the highlights of the deck. Magatama was great. If you had a face-up Six Samurai monster, when your opponent would activate a spell card, trap card, or effect of a monster that would destroy a card on the field, you could negate and destroy it. It was great against anything that would try to, destroy you. Really good against Black Wings. It could negate Icarus attack. I actually played against Black Wings with Six Samurais myself, and I destroyed them. This card was amazing. It did so much. This card was great, and it was a counter trap. They couldn't respond to it except with another counter trap like Solemn Judgment, so it was fantastic. And then he played 3 Warning. So Warning was at 3. It had just come out. If you had the card, you played it. He played 3 copies of it because, I mean, being able to just basically stop any summon was fantastic. So that was it for the deck. It was 40 cards, obviously, because of the upstarts. To his extra deck, he had the Chimera Tech in there for the Cyber Dragons. He played Ally of Justice Decisive Armor. I don't remember at the time what the light deck was that you used this against. I assume if you ran into Lightsworn or anything like that, that's what this was for. Mistworm was your 9. Scrap Dragon, Colossal, Stardust, all really solid level 8s. Your level 7 was Black Rose, nuke the board. Goyo was great, steal an opponent's monster. Barkion was something you could make in the deck because you did have an Earth Tuner in Kagamusha, so it was great to negate traps. Very solid card you could put right next to Sheehan and just win the game. Bryanek was one of the best 6s in the game, self-explanatory. Sheehan was insane. This was the main guy you went to, could negate a spell or trap. Another thing people would forget about this, if it would be destroyed, you could destroy another Six Samurai and save it. So Sheehan was amazing. A lot of times you would open boards of Sheehan and Barkion, and just your opponent, like, they get 1 spell, you negate it, traps don't work. You just flat out win the game. 1 Magical Android, self-explanatory, just a basic level 5 you can make. And his list did play 2 copies of Catastor. I pulled the list up from TCG Player. I was surprised. I did not know that that was something that he did. But you do have the ability with Kageki and Kagamusha to go into an instant level 5. Also, if you bring them back with double-edged sword technique, you could go into Catastor. So basically, you'd have Sheehan to negate spells, Catastor to get rid of anything that was non-dark, and just the rest of your cards to, just win the game. So really interesting to play 2 of those, but I can see why. Definitely back in that format. Just to the side deck real quick. You played the 3 Cyber Dragon with the Chimera Tech, get over machine decks. The 2 Kinetic Soldiers, those were for the mirror match, heroes, etc. Just really good in the mirror. Puppet Plant was for the mirror. You could steal Sheehan. It was insane. Crossouts for Gravekeepers. He played Gravekeepers in the finals and won. Cross out the Spy, you basically win. Smashing Ground to get over problematic monsters. Bottomless against anything that, could be a problem for you. And Dust Tornado because it was solid removal. So that was it, you guys. 2011 is when Six Samurais were at their peak. They were the best deck in the game. Super consistent, super aggressive. I played them at a Sacramento Regionals, and it was just a fantastic experience for me. I absolutely loved the deck. I missed the deck. I'm sure my boy Sam misses the deck. It was just, back then it was crazy. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh my god, I hated this deck. I completely understand. When you were on the receiving end of this deck, it was no fun. I played the mirror match. It was no fun. Like, this was a deck that, if you had the cards, you played it. If you knew how to play it, you played it. And Gateway was just insane. So it's crazy to think that back in 2011, Six Samurais was the best deck, but it was a thing. And it'll never happen again, unfortunately. I never see Gateway coming back to 3, unfortunately. If anyone were to ask me, I would see it coming back to 1, and people would try to make it work. We do have we do have Asceticism and some of the other cards. Maybe something could happen. But to bring the deck back to this entirety, I don't think, unfortunately, it'll ever happen. But it was crazy to remember these days because Six Samurais were on top. They won back-to-back jumps, and I mean, it was just without a doubt one of the best decks in the game. I know OCG still messes around with Six Samurais. Maybe something will come in the TCG eventually, but for all you loyal Six Samurai fans, if you remember this, please smash that like button. 40, 50 plus likes would be awesome for the next episode. Please suggest the next deck you would like to see featured here. It can be from any year, any format, anything, you guys. That's the beauty of this segment. I don't care if the deck came out yesterday. We'll profile it. If the deck came out 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, we could go back to the freaking starter deck Kaiba. If anyone never even saw it was in the Kaiba deck, we could do that. Like, that's how far back we'll take it. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like button. Let me know what other decks you'd like to see here on the series, and stay tuned for more videos. Like I said, I'll be at YCS Minneapolis, so be sure to I'll be sure to see you there. Do deck profiles, everything. I'll be staying with my boy Vexy, so it'll be great. I can't wait. I hope you guys will be there and come out, and it'll just be a great event overall. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.